support. It's really good that you're here because I'm dropping tons of gems today. Uh, yeah, I'm like camera nervous for some reason. Anyway, so we just went over some concepts. Just check them out in the previous video if you haven't checked them out. My phone died, so I've switched to this tablet. So we're gonna go with this and see how it goes. Anyway, so what we were just going over, we had just gone over like we had just gone over the principles of opening and closing and the ups and the downs, the left and the right, and how all these interplay with the universal motion between the legs, hips, and core. Really just in that seat, but not so much here, all around, and not just in our core. We're really talking about coming off the ground from one foot and putting that weight directly onto that other foot, right? Utilizing the concepts of left and right and up and down to get the most out of our spirals and our ways to close and open simultaneously. Not simultaneously, what am I saying, eh? So we were going over a wonderful technique. I'm right up against this bed, so let's move this. A wonderful technique. It always helps me improve my accuracy, punching power, and overall risk reduction or injury reduction. Okay, so what it is we're breathing in. Doesn't matter how. Breathing out. What matters. So we use that time to connect with all of our body, including how if I grab something right now, what would be tense? Is it my shoulders? Is it not properly aligned into my system? That is the goal here. Anytime we stop for a break, I'm basically running a software program to investigate and fine tune everything. And sometimes you have to keep running it. You keep breathing. You keep finding more things. Ooh, I found a spot there. Ooh, I found a spot in here. Okay, next breath. Breathe in, take a step out. Open up the hips, open up the quad. Sit down a bit. The knees forward a bit. Pelvis tilts a little bit forward. Maybe I shake the butt. Okay, now my shoulders are tight. Take another breath. We're still release this, but now come out and back a bit with the shoulders. Change the position of my hands so I can get a deeper stretch in my armpit. Right? As that breath releases, I feel the tightness in here. So do it again. Inhaling and consciously exhaling, healing, opening those parts of ourselves. Let's do that a few more times. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. On the last exhale, you can kind of play around with your body, remembering the lefts and the rights. All right. And I like to do little circles, loosen up my hips. I like doing lots of kicking, so I'm always loosening my hips. Even if you don't do a lot of kicking, you should definitely work on loosening your hips. A lot of disease starts in the office, sitting for long periods of time, and then sitting more, and sitting more, and sitting more, not taking micro breaks, not understanding how to heal the body, and most of it just starts with light movement and breath. Light movement, breath, and focus. Just a couple minutes a day, rather than I'm on my phone and this and oh yeah, I'll do it. And no, you're tightening up everything right now. You're closing. Now we have to open. Now we have to open and close and open and close and open and close and open. Right? Let's go over that. Before we went over the drill punch, right? we're coming up and down. As we're doing that, we're coming around. And we're coming in there. I also showed you how to make a proper fist. And that is to come and grab, pushing out as far as you can, then wrapping them in. Finally, we're taking our thumb and we're locking it in place. Let's see how we can demonstrate that. We're gonna lock that in place. Then we're gonna squeeze all of the muscles in here. So now we have something that we can very, very, very easily punch very well with and have very little risk of injury, right? So if you don't lock, if you have your thumb like this or something crazy, you're probably going to break your thumb. Second of all, you're not properly locking in. Now we don't just touch, we put this part of the knuckle in there too, then we grab there, and finally squeeze it all together, all in here, right? So we squeeze it all as we're punching into here. So that's a proper punch. We went over that before. Anyways, that's how you protect your wrist from any sort of breakage or injury. A lot of the reasons people say don't ever punch a bag without boxing gloves is because no one has proper technique on how to actually punch. I don't have videos. I'll take more if there's any doubters. Okay, so we've already went over the drill punch in another video. Now we're going to go over a technique, how we can improve that connection and that punching power. So breathing in, breathing out, you can come out, get a nice stretch. You can just keep doing circles, whatever, back and forth, back and forth. But basically at some point, push out through your palms, get a nice stretch through your arm, coming up, come into that squeeze. You can do punches, squeeze your bicep. And then now when you come up, you're going to almost like bring your elbows back and have your pinkies at your nipples, okay? And well, actually I did it differently this time. Normally you come up and then relax. Over here, we'll just relax out in front of us. You keep the back engaged. There's so many techniques. I apologize if I'm combining them. There's just so much to tell you. So let's come up again. Let's get a nice stretch inside our shoulders, okay? Really poking up, almost like you're holding two glasses up. You have to hold two small 300 milliliter drinking glasses upwards, okay? So you're gonna have your fingers around them. They're gonna be out, and you're gonna feel a stretch in your shoulders. We're gonna come up, up, up and around. Now we're gonna lift up our elbows as high as we can, our shoulders towards ears, not quite at our ears. As we come up like that, we're gonna make those fists again. We're gonna come up and around, have our pinkies at our nipples or whatever. And let's just relax our shoulders this time and keep our fists clenched. Good. Now, come up again with your elbows. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in as much as you can. Now, open your hands and relax. Oh, relax everything. Oh, you might feel a bit of tightness in here. Now we're going to do sides. So we'll come out to one side. This time we're going to screw the light bulb in. We're going to come so that we internally rotate, externally, I don't know. We're going to come pinky first, all the way to the sky and out. Now we're going to squeeze, okay, squeezing, and we're going to slowly come in with the shoulder back, feeling that nice, beautiful stretch. Slowly come in. Good. Now we're going to come out. We're going to lead with our elbow first. Now we're going to turn our wrist. Finally, we're going to end with our knuckles, our two knuckles pointing outwards. Okay. going to stretch a bit more. We're going to come back. Now we're going to open, turn the wrist, feel the stretch all through the arm, turn again, feeling a nice stretch. Now we're going to poke up, make the fist, slowly come back. Good. Let's do the other side. Out to the side. Breathing in and out. You're going to turn the light bulb, feeling a delicious stretch all the way through her shoulder, arm, forearm, and all the way through her hand, her fingertips. That light bulb, remember, turning the light bulb, stretching out as far as you can. Now, as you turn the light bulb, you're going to curl your fingers in, slowly make that fist while coming in. Okay? Good. You might even feel some cracks in there, like I just did. Good. Okay, so we're going to lead with our elbow out, opening our armpit, and now we're going to slowly turn, extend, and turn our fist until we just have those two knuckles pointing. Even rotate it around, stretch that a bit. Good. Coming around. And we're going to open again. Turn the light bulb. Coming in, squeezing, coming in nice and close. Okay, so that's the exercise. The last part is coming out. A nice horse stance this time. Let's do that. A nice stretch all through our arms and body, upper body, our shoulders, everything. Holding up those two cups. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. No one's joined so far, and that's okay. Breathing in and out. So, at this point, start to bring in slowly, but more so you're going to come and curl in your fist, make that fist lock those wrists in like I showed you how. Coming in with the elbows and down. Just copying what I'm doing now, bringing your fists out, elbows coming out, elbows coming up, wrist turning around, coming up, and exhale, relax and push up your palms. Good. This should be an amazing stretch in your arms and shoulders and also your fingers. Spreading apart those fingers and really just feeling what that feels like. Good. Okay, we're gonna rotate the light bulb now and we're gonna come in front, slowly bring in front, and you guessed it, we're gonna make another fist here. Come around to the sides. Now we're gonna come down behind us and we're gonna do that, pushing out and opening, okay? That's the last of our open, empty-handed exercises. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna play a bit with the stick, train a bit with the stick, all right? Maybe I'll drink some water, turn on another light. I like that one better. Should we have both? No, that's way better than before. All right, so grab your stick. You can grab anything you want. Sometimes you can open up your closet and you've got a wooden stick right there. Take your clothes off of the rack. Grab we call it a dowel. You know, sometimes, you know, if I'm in a different country and I don't have my Eskrima sticks yet, I can just get a couple dowels for, you know, a few cents or $1, whatever they cost. Practice with those until I get a nicer stick, but anything works. It all has a different weight and a different way to manipulate it. So it really doesn't matter what you have. It just matters if you're applying the same principles that have been discussed. So the first and most important one is Well, I thought I was just gonna train and I was just gonna have this video going, but it turned into a whole lesson. So I do take donations. Do I? I don't even know how to do that. So I guess I don't take donations, but your thanks is more than enough. All right. So the universal motion occurs in your legs and your hips. Below your belly button is something called the Dan Tian, your power center. And our whole breathing mechanism, our whole way our body operates is all through this is our power center. Our legs, our glutes pushing off, spiraling up, circulating, opening, gathering that energy in, and then being able to deliver it in a very efficient manner. Now we can make that manner very fast, we can make it slow. It depends what your goal is, but to test your own body and to improve is one of the most amazing things you can do. We really are what we do, and how our body handles these stresses we put it on of training, both mental and physical, pays dividends to our whole life. As you may know, if you're here, you're probably interested. So I'm actually liking the flipper stick today, so maybe I'll continue with that. So grab a stick, whatever you have, and I really just kind of feel like training, not teaching, but maybe I do feel like teaching, and maybe I can just train a bit without talking. I don't even know if the audio is picking up, so it's and whatever. I'm gonna start some stuff. You can follow along if you want. Usually don't have the space for this, but okay. Staff is a lot about how do you take a long object, manipulate your hand positions and momentum to create strike force, right? Like here, I don't have much to spin with, right? That's not very strong, except for a nice short strike. But if I want to go long, I swing over, comes into my hand, I swing down, and that's where I put my momentum behind locking into my hips for strength and power. And sometimes it's nice just to practice tight because it helps you work on your refined strength, but I can't go fast. Just nice and slow. Often is enough. Yeah, a little bit of speed, just don't go crazy, you know? Gotta get more accurate with that. There it is. That'll happen. I'm not worried. Good, I feel good. Go back to these. 1, 2, 3. Pay attention. 1, 2, 3. 1. So my first, I'm going to keep this chamber so you can just mirror me. Get 2 sticks. Whoever was watching is left. Don't have time, not interested. I just don't want to learn something. That's fine. Alright, so if you're watching this now, keep one of your hands chambered. Just like this. Okay. Not like this. Nice and loose like that. Ready to strike at any time, okay? Squeezing that and punching it out. Okay. Boom. Right? So keep that chamber in this chamber. This will be our 1. Okay. As we strike our 2, we're going to chamber over here. So we're going to go 1, chamber. Ready? 1, chamber. So as we chamber, 1, and as we chamber, we hit our 2. Okay. So 1, 2. When we hit our 3, this 2 is going to chamber. See? This is going to strike and this is going to chamber. I'm not going to bring it back. I'm going to rotate my hips, okay? Just like that. That's what's going to cause the movement. You see? Rotating my hips, not moving my arm. They're just happening. Light movements by the arm, light guidance, okay? So, again, our 1, we're going to use this chamber with this loose. 1, chamber. As we chamber, we're going to strike here with our 2. 1, chamber strike. Okay. Again, 1, 2. Same thing. As we strike here, we'll replace just moving our hips. So that's our 3. Okay. And as we strike our 3, we chamber in here. Now we repeat just the other side. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How does it 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All in the hips. 4, 5, 6. All in the hip. 4, 5, 6. All in the hips. 4, 5, 6. In the hips. I messed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's all in the hips. Don't pay attention to the arms. Although do pay attention to the arms because we have to get the format down. So again, chamber, strike. As we chamber, we strike with the other. Just to twist the hips. Then, as we strike here, we're going to chamber this in the same position. Strike, and then finally, we start again. 1, 2, 3. Just mirrored on the other side. Okay? So it starts just like that. I'll show you one more time from the starting position. Rocking back and forth. Keeping our hips loose. Strike. Chamber on the other side. So we're making a V, and then we're making a Z. Okay? V, and then, is that a Z? I don't fucking know. Just watch me. Strike, 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 strike. Okay? Strike, 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 strike. All right? From starting position, 1, 2, 3. That's all you got to know. Now we just do the same thing, the opposite side. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So it's kind of like you draw a V, and then you come here. Let's try with one hand. Strike, 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 chamber here. Ready? Strike, 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 chamber here. The second strike's the other hand. So, that's it. Draw a V, then come here, okay? And you just do it with 2. So the other one is draw a V, come here. So we have draw a V, come here. Thank you. Let's try again. Draw a V, come here. Draw a V, come here. Draw a V, come here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm going too fast. I'm losing my technique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Lots of fun drill and all. Now, what's another good drill? It's a nice flower. So you strike behind the back, come around, and you change it with the figure 8. So you're going to strike behind your back. I lost everyone. I gotta see how I was doing that. Was it actually really that bad? Was it really bad? Maybe I was trying to go too fast. I don't know. Practicing these, they're very difficult for me. All right, whatever. Let's go over this other one. So we're going to strike behind her back, come around with her shoulder, strike behind her back, come around with her shoulder, do an understrike. So we're doing a fake back strike, bringing this around. We can either come all the way around and strike while moving to the side, right? So we can either come like that, okay? Or we can come on a wide arc, give a nice backhand, and then while stepping back, have another strike there, okay? So we're gonna strike behind, which is gonna cause a really nice, again, if you're not familiar with this, you're striking behind, and as you strike behind, you twist your hips and bring just your shoulder forward. Really all you need to do. Everything else will follow from the momentum. All right, and after you do that a few times, you can learn, oh, I just use my hips to angle anything I want and adjust it in a different way. So one more time, we're just learning this simple behind the back flower. As we strike behind our back, we're going to push off of our left side, bring our shoulder forward, and that's going to cause this stick to come up, okay? So hitting that there, we can either choose to come under, and we can draw a circle around, our body, around our neck. We can come around, draw a circle in front, okay? We can come around and come down, kind of like sitting down onto your hamstrings. There's a whole world of endless opportunities, all right? But the main thing is to get this down, all right? Once you're here, you have so many options. You come in just backhand, right? What do you call that? Loretta or whatever. Or you can just take a step back with this, having nice controlled defensive stance, or striking down. There's many. Oh, I was just gonna train, and then I did a YouTube video, and here I'm talking, trying to explain everything. So let's try to go over everything. So what I find really useful when we have this stick, first of all, we don't hold on tight all the time because that keeps all this tight. We just kind of keep it loose. We kind of like just hold it here. You can play around with it. Eventually you get to learn how it rocks. You can switch hands pretty easy, switch stances, or sorry, not stances, grips, right? So if I'm in an awkward stabby grip, yeah, I can do that, but that doesn't help me. Now how am I striking with this? No, I need to be at the last fifth or fourth of it, right? I can be in the half, but then I need some sort of support, right? This is almost nothing. It's just gonna break my wrist if someone gets the wrong end. So we want to be at the end, right? That protects us, and we can very easily relax it and come around any target, any obstacle, whatever. So the concept here is just to always kind of keep it loose. We can get a firmer grip as we move it into different areas. So as I'm moving it into different areas, I'm just slightly gripping it each time because I'm telling it where to go, how it to spin, right? These aren't strikes, they're just, oh, I'm guiding the stick in the movement forward. Now I'm gonna create my next one into a strike. Or maybe I wanna go fake and a strike, roll and a strike, grip and a strike, grip and a strike. So you can see this can go on quite some time, right? I can have my fake grip, my fake strike, and my real strike. And even at the real strike, if you miss, you release instantly. And if you don't miss, you get your other arm in there to support, and you can come down on top, whatever you want, right? So the concept here is not having such a tight grip, just really keeping it relaxed, and every time you want to move around, not even striking, just wanting to move your whole body and this extension of your body, just give it a slight grip to give it a spin, right? So I have my fake strike and my strike, just lightly gripping each time. Fake, and come down, whatever you want, right? So just remembering to keep a nice light grip so we can come behind us, round, behind us, on a backhand and around. The opportunities are endless. As you practice with it, it's a really good thing to do actually. Just holding it here, right? Just tossing it to yourself. Sometimes you notice you're even leaning over too much. Just adjust. Such a simple, mundane thing, but as you do it, you can practice how to strike within it, and you'll notice, oh, the footwork and the levels play a big part in how catching it and turning it into something applies. What are the words I'm looking for? I don't know. So the other thing is to almost treat it like an extension of yourself, in that you should be able to change hands at any time, right? So we can practice that too. And we don't always have to be focused on the big things, because sometimes the little things are the most important, right? Not the finishing strike, but all the places in between. Just little grips getting ready for the next location, right? We like to think of what's the ultimate goal. Is it to train so I can go on the street and hit people with sticks? Probably not, right? We probably have some philosophical, or maybe it's just to have a nicer body, or just to feel amazing, because training like this feels amazing for the body, just like lifting weights does. I do them both, But yeah, as we explore our bodies and we have that mental challenge as well as the awareness of what's happening in our bodies, it's be a challenging but quite addictive and amazing experience. So let's go over some more core basic things. We don't always have to move, but when we are moving, we should be able to train both sides all the time. When we're doing this, we are activating both hemispheres of the brain. So this is always I'm activating a lot of hemispheres. We have 2 hemispheres, but you know what I mean. I'm activating quite a bit, trying to put words to this as well. But yeah, so some of the basics are the most important: the footwork and the universal motion, the legs, the glutes, and the hips, and how that relates to any sort of movement, right? So I'm always catching myself. How do I get back to that nice basic? I'm pivoting my legs if I need, I'm pivoting my knee, pivoting in, right? I'm sitting onto that glute, I'm sitting onto that leg so I can have total control. I'm sitting back and switching stances or grounding onto the other leg, right? Coming into more of a horse mabu, where I'm opening my knees slightly, and then I'm switching, bringing my knee in one direction, right? Even here, this isn't a very strong position. Well, it's strong for depending what you're doing. It's so difficult to teach this. It's my idea was I was just going to do some training and not talk, and people could listen, but then I realized maybe I should speak a bit about things, and yeah, I really should have had a better plan, but we did go over quite a bit. So far what we've gone over, I shouldn't knock myself up because we've gone over quite some amazing details. We've gone over the breath, we've gone over warming up the body, qigong, gone over the universal motion more in detail earlier. We've gone over principles of, we've even gone over how to make a proper fist and protect yourself from injury, not break your wrist from punching. That's silly. We've gone over how to align the body with a certain exercise from Bhagwan Jin that increases accuracy as well as power. We have gone over the drill punch. That was pretty cool. And what else have we gone over? Oh yeah, we've gone over opening and closing, the left and the right, gathering, how we gather and how we push out energy. We've gone over the ups and the downs. Okay. So even when we're spinning, like obviously we want to be switching some sort of weight from one to another, right? But there's also other elements like being open and then closing, right? And then footwork plays a large part, right? So if I want to spin, I want to probably move one foot, or at least behind me. I can go behind me as well, just kind of like, like legs crossed. I can do that. Or I can step over and have that other leg continue on until I can ground myself out. So when we apply these principles, we can apply the opening and the closing. Then we step over. Opening and closing, we can make it faster. And then I'm not even thinking about striking, but I should. So, and then finally, we can also go down and up to really accentuate everything. So now we have the opening and closing, the left and the right? And we have the step over, right? And then we have the up and the down. So once we put that all together, it's gonna look something like this, right? So I can do the other side. So I'm gonna step over. I'm not an expert, so I have to tell myself, I'm going to step over. I'm going to be out and come in, open and close, And I'm also going to be using the left and the right, but mostly the up and the down. Up and the down is amazing. So step over, open to close, and up and down. So let's do that together. Oh. Let's try again. Okay. So I'm going to step over. There's no excuse that it's my bad side, because it shouldn't be a bad side. We need to train everything equally here. So I'm going to come around. I'm going to, oh, I didn't do the open. That's where I messed up. So I'm going to come around. I'm going to close. And I think there's one more. Yeah, so I'm going to open. And I'm going to close, come up and down. No, I'm not getting it. I need to do it empty-handed. So I'm going to close up and down. That works better. I'm going to close up and down. Works better. I think I just need to get into it and not talk so much. That's better. That's better. That's better. That was not better. And so we're going to step across. I'm going to go down and up while opening and closing. That's much better. Now we can try it. Should have done that in the first place with sticks. So we're going to step over, open and close, and up and down. So let's try that again. No, that was trash. I should probably end this live. I'm so embarrassed already. I'm so embarrassed. No, that's garbage. It's weird that I can do it on the right quite well, but not on the left. Oh well. So we train, we get better, right? So I'm going to keep going on this. So remember to come around. Different angles. Let's switch. Ooh. Really do need to practice that. one thing I meant to go over earlier, and I lost sight of, was all the points of contact, or all the chambers. There's so many chambers. So let's go over some of them. We'll go over with this one, I guess. So I've got a chamber here. I can strike down, like right in front of me, a nice short controlled strike. Or I could strike ahead of me, beside me over there. I could strike here on a circle, change my stance, and strike here, get space, and strike again, cross slash, or come out with any other combo. So we have many types of strikes. A very simple one you can do is up, so down and up and cross. I guess it's down again and up, cross, down and up and cross. I always want to cross more, but it's because it is far more advantageous to keep striking in front of you than beside you if you've already. Anyways, so that's not the purpose. We can chamber here, like we said. We can chamber here. So chamber here and here. We can chamber here, just below our shoulder. We can chamber on the other side, just on our shoulder, kind of below, or like right up on the side of it. Okay, we can chamber on the tricep. We can just hold it. Normally we're holding it quite loose anyway. Okay, same thing on the other side. Right, so this allows me to come up on my other chamber, which is right on the back of the forearm. So I'm directing that. I'm not trying to strike. I'm just directing it. I'm holding it, loose but firm. Okay, because then I can come into a strike, right? So again, we can chamber from any of these positions, and the ability to go between these positions is, how do I say it? You're sticking with your new universal movements and your universal motion, which was covered earlier. This area here and how we spiral in and out, and we keep control and power stabilized within our body mechanics. And then we're just switching from position to position, because as we move, we don't want to be gripping our material, because that causes this to get tight, right? We don't want that. We can't do anything if we move this now, right? So that's why we want to be loose, and we just grip to get into another position, okay? We just lightly grip it to get into our next chamber, right? So we're just flowing from chamber to chamber. So we have these chambers here. We have so many here. Then we have the hip chambers, okay? So we were just here, here, here. Now we have the hip chamber, upper hip, lower hip. We have hip out here, hip back here, lock in here. We have up here. We have there's so many. It's like infinite little mime paths, okay, that you can just discover. But some of them, you even have the knee, right? You even have the knee and the thigh. Kind of weird. I'm not feeling it up quite properly right now, but there we go. All right, so we have the knee. Anyways, so flowing between these chambers is a really nice thing to do. We can come into more stabs from that, right? Just going slow, right? We can come into the back hands. We can come into all sorts of different techniques, right? But ultimately, those chambers are keeping something ready in front of you, nice and loose, ready at any time, always using the other hand to protect. So you can demonstrate that pretty well here too. I really like this chamber here, just by the knee, very popular. And as we strike, if you have an engagement strike, you're coming forward and you're striking like this. We can manipulate that in different ways, but we have our chambers here. here, 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 here. No, it's not a chamber. Here. There's no. There's too many. I've heard there's a certain number, and then I've heard there's unlimited. So I don't know. I think just go what works for you. But some of the main ones you should be aware of: striking out in front, chambering back here, over your shoulder, striking out, and just above your tricep, under your shoulder. It's another one, right? Because as I strike out, if I need extra, look at that. As I push out, I have all of that extra control and power, as well as the capability of any time with my loose technique, loose but firm, I can switch my hands, right? So that therein lies a very big advantage. I think I'm gonna stop now. Oh, I haven't done any sword yet. So we'll use the sword a bit. And the sword is super unique because, oh, my sword's getting so rusty. I'm not gonna do it today because I need to clean this. And it's gonna get everywhere, so I'll clean it first. So I'm gonna end it there. We'll do the sword on a different day. I might delete these, I'm not sure. Yeah, some stranger popped in, said hello and thanked me for the stream, the last stream, so that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I had to switch devices, so I think I lost most of you. But yeah, we'll do a bit of stick still. I'm getting tired, but it's a nice night of training. Doing more teaching than training. But by doing both sides and sticking to those basic principles of opening and closing, we can really develop all of the things that we want to develop. Drop, strike, chamber, strike, switch hands, whatever it fancies you, okay? So, oh my goodness. Get out there and practice. Yeah, that's it. Peace. Oh my God, it's so bad.